Good evening, everyone. Next Generation Weather Forecaster Joe Shock here, looking at the all fired up 18Z GFS here from the you can see it from the model here, and we got a real problem, I think, over here with the model. And I'll explain what's going on here. We'll look at some of the other guidance as well for this upcoming heat event that is going to be a high impact event without having it get this hot. All right, so the model today had a this is the 18Z run, so this would include what happened after 2 o'clock. So hit 78 today, so what I saw at Lawrence. So the model did okay today. Tomorrow it probably will do okay again. Friday it gets iffy because there's going to be some rain that comes through tomorrow, maybe close to an inch of rain that comes through. And never trust a heat wave that starts with rain, but it's going to get so darn hot, I think we can trust that getting at least 3 days out here. My fear maybe more is sea breezes coming in and knocking this down instead of blaming it on wet ground. So we'll see how much rain we can get out of tomorrow's passage of the shortwave feature that will obviously impact us and deliver rain, but not enough, I don't think, to blunt this. So point is, you can see the next 2 days and probably the third day, the GFS will be okay. Now, once you get into Saturday, now, earlier in the week, it's Saturday, it had 105. It's since come down. Actually, over the last 2 days, it had mid and upper 90s for the entire thing, and now it's starting to come back up. 106, you know, what you see here. Now, here on Saturday, I think it's too high. The European, I do have at the end, I created my own European biograph. We'll take a look at that. So, you can see the model has 94 Friday, 97 Saturday. Sunday has 106, and then 107, 104, and 101. The European ensemble does have a couple members upwards of 105, but there's only about 2 or 3 of them. There's about 30% of the members for Sunday through Tuesday that are clustered around 100. And again, majority of them are in the upper 90s, so that's probably where this is going to go. Now, I don't know what it is with the GFS that's having this issue with the surface. So either the GFS is going to be right or the European will be right, but it's going to get very, very hot without this number. So a very, very good case study, and I do believe that the European, once again, will whip the daylights out of the GFS regarding the 2-meter surface temperature. So, very, very interesting case study coming up here again. Now, let me see if I can move over to the next image here. Now, here is the NWS forecast. You can see here, you can see Friday, Saturday. So, let me go back here, try to remember what they have here. So, tomorrow the model has 79. The forecast office has 77. Friday, the model had 94. The office has 90. And there you can see there, not getting above 95 throughout the period, while the GFS is 10 to 12 degrees warmer. So you can see there, that's what the forecast looks like from Norton. Now, here is the GFS ensemble. Too warm today by about 6 degrees. Likely going to be too warm tomorrow by probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 degrees. So after about 4 degrees or more, I consider the model too warm or too cool, depending on which side of 4 degrees it goes on. But up to 4, I consider it an acceptable and accurate forecast that the various model put out. Friday looks like it's going to be too hot probably by 4. Saturday will probably be okay. And actually, I like this. Actually looks a little bit better. This will probably be within that 4 degree realm. So, I mean, maybe you could pull 101 Sunday and Monday, which is on the table, again, as I said. But this is a little bit more probably in reality of what will actually occur rather than the GFS operational. Now, here is the NAM Moss. You can see here Friday. Here it is Friday hitting 90. So that's probably what in line with the forecast office has the GFS for 94. And what did the ensemble have there? So the ensemble had 95 and Moss has got 90 and the GFS parallel had operational at 94. The European, which is the next one, I believe, had 89, and you'll see that, and then you can see here the warm nights. And now here is the GFS Moss, the 18Z. You can see it has 90 on Friday, and then 92 by 2 p.m. Saturday, probably be a little bit higher than that. By the end of the day, probably 95, which is, again, closer to what most of the guidance has for the day on Saturday. Now, here it is. I do have it here. Okay, so here was the 0Z. I didn't have time to make the 12Z, but the 12Z is very similar to what the 0Z had, so there's not much discrepancy going on here. So you can see the European has 80. Let me try to zoom in here. The European has 87, and then it has 88, which is now, I believe, 91. But you can see here now, again, we have to remember this. Now, if it's a completely sunny day, which most of these days during this heat wave will be, very little cloud cover, the European is too cool by 5 to 8 degrees during these days. So again, two very good case studies coming up. Will the GFS be closer, or will the European be closer, or will the European be too cool again with that cool bias it has during the daytime high? So overall, a very, very interesting situation coming up. Major heat, nevertheless, on the table. Heat indices probably 105 to 110 for almost possibly a week in parts of southern New England. So it really begins Friday and really takes off on Sunday. So that's it for now, and thank you for watching.